You weren't supposed to start recording yet, but you did. So we're just gonna hurry it up. Okay. Oh God, it's not straight. Good enough. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to kind of keep on the trend of doing different kinds of videos than I started out my channel with, and so today I'll be doing a MacBook tour, like a what's on my MacBook, and a customization tip thing for you. I know for me personally, I like to keep my computer very personalized to myself, and I feel like some people struggle with that sometimes, or they don't know how to get particular backgrounds or particular things that just make them feel good, makes them feel more organized on their computer, and I feel like I'm a very organized person, so I kind of wanted to help out with that. So I'll actually be starting this video with the What's on My MacBook tour. If you guys are not interested in that, I totally understand. I will be leaving the timestamps in the description below for the customization tips, and I will also be separating them by each tip so it's easier for you guys to navigate. I will also have a bunch of links in the description below of things that I may have found online or bought in order to help customize my MacBook as well. So to start off the What's on My MacBook tour, I wanted to first show you guys my background. I made this little collage. I actually have a lot of collages that I have made for myself, but currently this is my aesthetic, is the yellow and white and very clean and minimalist and stuff like that. So I made this little collage, but I also have a lot of files. Well, I guess not a lot. I have 3 files I keep on my computer, but each file has a little file in it as well. The first one I have is my YouTube file. I have, of course, my music. This is all my non-copyright, or some of them did end up getting copyright claimed, but most of them are my non-copyright music that I use. Also in there I have a simple folder where I just keep my intro and outro, so they're very easy access and I can just pull them into my editing software without having to like try to search for them everywhere. And I also have each separate weekday for when I do my vlogs. So I have the music and I also have the transition slides in here as well. A folder underneath that, I go to Ball State University in Indiana, so I have a folder that has all my classes. These are actually my classes for next semester because I just made this folder recently actually, and I didn't feel the need to put the classes in for this semester because most of my classes are pretty much done with work that I would have to keep on my computer. So these are all just empty files right now, but they will be the 4 classes that I am taking in the fall. And the last folder that I have is actually my life folder. And I just have a picture of my driver's license for certain like applications and things where they ask you to send your driver's license photo, and a copy of my resume in there as well. Now, as far as things that are in my dock, I of course have this very standard stuff like the Finder, the Siri, emails, all that stuff. I use Chrome instead of Safari, which for me I feel like is personally helpful. I think probably some of my 3 most used apps are obviously Chrome, Messages, FaceTime. iMovie is what I edit all of my YouTube videos on right now. And Keynote is how I get some of the text things that I do. And I guess the only other thing on here that's not like a standard sort of app is my Spotify app that I downloaded to help me listen to my music. Pulling up into my internet tabs, I of course am pulled up onto my channel right now. Check out the new channel art tab. There we go. If you guys are subscribed, because I actually put a good amount of effort into this to try to get my aesthetic fit. So I feel like I did pretty well as far as that goes. I have a lot of tabs up here that I have bookmarked. So I actually, after this semester, am finishing my minor in Spanish at college, but I do have Google Translate up here just because every once in a while I will occasionally have a word that I forget and just need to look up really quickly. I should have Spanish dictionary actually bookmarked, but I don't. So I have Translate, and then I have Canvas, which is where all of my classes put their assignments, even before this quarantine, before moving online, but especially now. I have the My BSU app, which is kind of the home hub for all BSU students. We have a bunch of links and stuff out there that's very useful. We schedule through there, stuff like that. Outlook is my BSU email. Box is basically Google Drive, but it's something that Ball State supplies for us. I have the tab for Newslink Indiana, of course. That is where all of the things that we usually post would go for Newslink, like the web stories. Trello is another thing for Newslink. CEO posts these. I, of course, have LinkedIn to try to get jobs and internships. And then I have the standard watching apps like YouTube, Netflix, Hulu. I have my apartment tab. This is where I go to pay my rent. And then this is for Alpha Chi. It is our calendar that would tell us when we have things going on. It's called Team Up. It's 2020. Ignore that it says 2017 because it's actually 2020 still. And then we have GivePulse, which is where we track our community service hours. And then past that didn't fit up here, was just Facebook, and then currently my therapist's waiting room. So that is all for the what is on my MacBook, but now I want to start giving you guys some customization tips to really make your laptop feel like it's your own and not feel like it's just another kind of resource for school. And honestly, I don't know if you guys are super into that, but I personally love for my laptop to be customized to myself. So I wanted to share the tips that I know with you guys. So the first tip that I will actually be teaching you guys is a lot to do with things that you can find in your system preferences. So to find your system preferences, you of course click on the little apple. That's the easiest way to do it. And you just go into here. So one of the things that I enjoy doing through my system preferences is, this is how I hid my dock. If you guys notice, my dock doesn't come up unless I pull my mouse onto the bottom of the screen. And in order for you guys to do that, you just go into dock in your system preferences and you click automatically hide and show the dock right here. Other things that you can do within your system preferences include desktop and screensaver modifications. If you go into here, you can of course change your desktop, but this is how I get my beautiful little analog screensaver. So my screensaver looks like this. If you guys want to learn how to get a screensaver like this, you actually just go into your system preferences and go to your screensaver option. Now the way I got this was I actually looked up this analog clock online. You can actually find it really easily just by looking up analog clock screensaver for a MacBook online, and you'll be able to find the download link, but I will also have it in the description below. Once you download it, it's pretty simple. You just follow the steps. Once it downloads in your Google Chrome extension, if you use Chrome, you will click it. It'll pull up a system to say run it. You click run and it'll pull it into here. All you have to do is click it in your system preferences and it pulls it up. You can change the sizes of it, anything like that as well. You can change when it starts if you want it to start immediately. Something that I actually use that I actually find super useful if I want to pull up my screensaver immediately is something called Hot Corners. And Hot Corners is, you can like basically just put your mouse in any of your four corners of your laptop. So the bottom left corner is actually where I go to pull up my analog clock screensaver without waiting 20 minutes for it to turn on itself. And I'm not going to do it, but there is a reason that this part of my collage has a sign that says exit on it, and that's because in that corner, if I put my mouse into it, it automatically pulls up my lock screen. Another thing you guys can do in system preferences is if you go into your general folder, you can change the colors that show up when you click on these things up here. So as you can see, mine's yellow when it's highlighted. The standard for MacBook is blue, so that should probably look familiar. For me, obviously my aesthetic is very yellow, so I'm choosing yellow for them, but you can choose any of these colors listed here to accent whatever sort of color scheme that you guys want. The next thing I wanted to show you guys is how I get the PNGs to use as my file folders instead of the standard blue file when you start a new folder. So in order to do that, you of course have to have your new folder, and then you're going to go into your Google, and I just searched up PNG images, or you can specifically look up like sunflower PNG, whatever, and look at images if you would like. For me, my computer downloads things weird, so that doesn't work for me. So I actually have to go through a PNG download website. We'll just choose this icon, for example, click it, it opens it up in a new tab. I go down here, click download PNG, and it downloads for me. And then I'll just pull that onto my desktop, right click and click get info for that file. And there's two ways that you can do this. You can either take the image and drag it onto the file that's in this upper left hand corner, but for me obviously that doesn't work. It pulls up this, so all I have to do is open this image, click it, Command A, Command C, and then I can go back into this clicky file up here again, and then click Command V to paste it, and it pulls it up as this little image now. Another thing that I've actually been asked about a lot by my friends is how to customize your Google screen. So the reason I have this background, and the easiest way to get it, is just go into either Pinterest or Google and just look up some sort of image you like, and you will just click one. For me, I save the image onto my desktop. You'll go into your Google, click this little pencil down here in the corner, and it'll pull this up. Now you'll just click upload from device and choose your image, and there you go, it will replace it for you. Another thing I have been asked about is how I made my collage background, and I know it looks super complicated, but it's actually pretty simple for you guys. What you'll have to do is just open up your Google and make sure you look up your screen dimensions. Now for me, with my MacBook Pro, I have a 13-inch. You want to make sure you know it in pixels. So mine on here says the pixels is 2560 by 1600. So then I will actually go to canva.com and click create a design, custom dimensions, and make sure it's in pixels, and it is 2560 by 1600. And it will start this new tab for you. Now you can use a prompt over here if you would like, but for me to make my collage, I usually just leave it as the blank background. Then in order to get the images that you want for your background, I go into Pinterest, and you can just look up, frankly, anything you want. You can look up specific things to your color scheme, or I look up aesthetic images or aesthetic photos, anything like that. It'll pull these up for you. So what I'm going to do to make my life a lot easier is you're going to actually copy the image instead of saving it. Go into your design, and you cannot right click and paste it, it won't let you do it, but you can Command V it, and it shows up on your template. And then you can just move it around, place it wherever you like, and you'll just go back into your Pinterest after you're done, get more images, and continue to do it until you come up with a collage that you like. I am actually going to continue to make that collage. I know it looks super time consuming, but it's really not that time consuming at all. And so I am going to make it to show you guys that you can make them actually super quickly. So the one I made for myself took me a little bit longer yesterday, but this one only took me about 6.5 minutes to complete. Once you get it done on your Canva, there's a little publish button up in the corner that you can either click, or there's a download button right next to that. You will download that one onto your computer. Once it's downloaded, I just drag it onto my desktop. then I actually pull it into my photos file on my computer because I feel like that makes my life a whole lot easier to do it that way rather than like importing it through here. Go into system preferences again, go to that desktop and screensaver thing that we showed you earlier, make sure you're on the desktop side, and you can just scroll to the bottom of your photos. That's where mine is. Double click it, and now it is the background for your computer. Side note, if anyone happens to be interested in either of the ones that I made, send me a comment or an email or a DM on Instagram and I will actually send it over to you. My Instagram link and everything is in the description below, so if you guys are interested in that collage that I did just make, or you possibly want me to make you one, just send me a DM on Instagram and I will either send you one or we can talk about it. So the last thing I wanted to show you guys is actually how I customize the outside of my MacBook as well. I've already showed you kind of all the inside pieces that I do to customize it, but of course, you gotta customize the outside as well. You know, basic enough, I just got a basic case off of Amazon. I will have the cases that I actually bought in the link or in the description below. I'll have the link in the description below. This comes in a bunch of colors. I ended up just getting white just because of the color scheme that I was going for. And then on the front of my computer, I of course have a bunch of stickers. I have an Alpha Chi one, I have a Los Angeles one, a Ball State one, a TCOM Major one for Criminal Minds. You can buy all sorts of stickers, and I actually get mine off of Redbubble. That's all for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. I will hopefully be making a lot more content like this in the future. And go ahead and follow me on any social media. Like I said, you can message me on those anytime with any questions that you guys have about frankly anything. If you need someone to talk, I'm always there. And of course, to get the template that I made or to possibly make you guys one as well. But for now, that is it for me, and I will see you guys next week.
Yeah.